record button. Here we go. Good evening and welcome to Sipurey Maasios. The Cripple, Maasios. We have touched upon the sage, the father, and the children he had, and we concentrated on the cripple, the figure. And what we have said was that the figure is represented by the basic premises, basic understanding of each and every one of us, that as we learned on Motzei Shabbos in Sichas Aran, very complicated Sichas Aran, Rabbeinu says, this you will receive from me, that you will not let the world fool you. There are many different ways that the world is fooling people. There is the illusion that there is an option not to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That, there's a certain kind of a modus vivendi, a certain kind of like an equilibrium, a compromise between having your cake and eating it too, when it comes to Avodas Hashem. That's one way that the world is cheating us. But the important message that this particular story is driving home is even more incisive and less obvious, more radical. We heard a lot of Sipurey Tzadikim about how people go to Tzadikim, go to Rebbes, and the Tzadikim do miracles for them. They perform miracles for them. The Hasidic folklore, if you want to call it that, is chock full of stories about, the person that had to marry off their daughters, and this happened, that happened, and he had nothing, and this tzaddik gave him, tremendous wealth, and this happened, this, and it happened that, whatever it is. And these stories, while true in many cases, and not necessarily true in others, not that what they're saying didn't happen, but the son of the Divrei Chaim of Tzanz, somebody brought to him a sefer about the miracles and deliverances that his father has delivered to people who came to him. And he said that he could write a book twice as long about all the times that miracles were not delivered, that things did not come up to, you know, happy end, if you want to call it like that. The important, none of the, there's a very important point about what the son of the Ivr Chaim of Tzanz was saying. There's a Maisa with they say in the name of the wife of Rav Aryeh Levine, Zecher Tzaddik Levracha, was a I believe he was, I think he was, I'm not sure whose father-in-law he was, but anyhow, he was a big tzaddik. Rav Aryeh Levine is a famous Yerushalmi tzaddik, and there's a story. There's a haftarah that we just read a few weeks ago about the Shunamis and Elisha that came, was a guest at her house and promised her a son, and she had a son, and the son died. And the woman took the boy, the dead boy, and put it on the bed of this little attic that she and her husband made for the prophet Elisha. And she orders the boy, to one of her, helpers, whatever, to take a donkey, and he said to her husband, and she's going off to the prophet. And her husband says, "Why are you going to him? It's not Shabbos, not Rosh Chodesh, not whatever it is. Why are you going to him?" So she said, "Shalom." And she said, "That's," and she goes. And the story goes that, how she goes to him, and it ends up with Elisha performing the astonishing miracle of bringing the child back to life. Interestingly enough, within the story, after the child dies and she's going to the prophet, and her husband asks her, "Why are you going to the prophet? It's not Shabbos, it's not Rosh Chodesh, whatever it is." V'tomer Shalom, and she said Shalom, and she goes away. And if you'll notice in the Chumash, it says, here the Sfaradim stop. That's it. They read the Haftarah up to here. And it's mind-boggling. She said, she told her husband, like, why do they stop here? That's like any good story, that's like you go and there is a drama, okay, and the drama means conflict, and there is the stress, but that's just the middle of the story. What happens next is she goes and she gets to the prophet and she tells him, and he sends his helper back. And the helper is supposed to put a belonging of the prophet on the boy, and he does, and he doesn't come alive, and he comes, and in other words, it doesn't hold what we would consider to be the payoff for the story. So she asked her husband, "Why do the Sfaradim stop here? Why don't they continue saying, the meat of the story, the whole thing is the fact that, it's like, it almost sounds like hitting practice, that you have a pitcher behind this screen that pitches balls for hitters to head out of the park, behind the screen. In other words, these are just like juicy balls that can be head out of the park. This is that they're stopping right at the pitch. And the swing and a home run isn't there. Why do they stop there? So her husband says, no, okay, no, what do you say? What do you think? What do you think the reason is that they stop at this point? So see, she said a wonderful thing. She said, because for the Sfaradim, the minute you go to the tzaddik, everything is fine. No matter what's going to happen. If you realize everything is Kodesh Baruch Hu, and the main thing is that you come to the tzaddik, but Toima Shalom, she said Shalom, she said fine, finished. In other words, from the point of view, the Sardik, the Emunidic point of view, it doesn't really matter whether the tzaddik brings the boy back to life or not. The story happens to be that he did. But for the Sfaradim, that's not the main thing. The main thing is that she's going to the tzaddik. There's a problem, you go to the tzaddik. It's a wonderful insight. Rabbeinu takes it one step further. It's more than just one step further. He basically dives into this. The whole, as we said, we mentioned, the whole idea of that going to tzaddikim, that tzaddikim perform miracles for you, is embedding the notion that it's all about success. It's all about a happy ending. It's all about being hip and booted. It's all about, bushy tail and bright-eyed. It's all about, being matzliach. Rabbeinu tells us a story about a chiga, of a cripple. And what Rabbeinu is basically telling us, and this we mentioned in great length in the Sicha on Motzei Shabbos, is when you take a look at yourself, you take a look in your own inner mirror. And that's what happens when you get close to the tzaddik. You get at tzaddik's eyes, and you see exactly who you are. You can't hide. You don't want to hide. You take a look at yourself and you see, I'm a cripple. I'm a cripple. Not only I don't daven, I don't even want to daven. Not only that I don't learn, I don't really want to learn at all. Okay, once I get into learning, all right, I'm learning. Once I get into davening, maybe sometimes I'm davening, maybe a point here and a point there. But overall, I am the epitome of being a cripple, of being a failure, of being a guy that doesn't make it. And Rabbeinu teaches you and me that this is Avodas Hashem. This is where Avodas Hashem takes place. In this incredible realization of inadequacy on my part. This is Avodas Hashem. This is where Avodas Hashem takes place. That feeling that I'm not hacking it. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not delivering the goods. That is Avodas Hashem. In other words, those struggles that you're dealing with, and you realize, and you're with the Kadosh Baruch Hu while this is going on, and you look at him and you say, "No, Shalom, what am I going to do? You have to come and save me." I'm just like, what am I going to do? This is Avodas Hashem. So we will continue with this, the story where he says that the cripple says, why should I get sustenance from my brothers, from my family? Let me do some business. Basically, it means that at a certain point in time, the chiger that was getting sustenance from her brothers became a bardas. And the bardas means that he understood that he himself has to water trees. His brothers until now are watering him. Like, these are all the people that you know. It can be Moshe Maimon, it can be Reb Chaim Kramer, it can be Moshe Weinberger, it can be whoever it is. And you get sustenance, you get chiyas from them. But at a certain point in time, you have to get up as well. It's very, very tempting to just lay back and say, like, man, I don't have what it takes. Just like none of us have what it takes. Rabbeinu has what it takes. His Talmidim have what it takes. And you have what it takes. You have to water trees. You have to start doing some business. You have to get in touch with people. You have to learn with them. Oh, come on. I have to learn with them. Oh, what are you talking about? This is ridiculous. No, it's not. It's not ridiculous at all. You have to start watering trees. You have to start speaking to people. You have to get into business. You have to get into business. It's very nice to go to this shiur, to that shiur, to that shiur, to that shiur. That's wonderful. It's great. But are you just getting the sustenance from others? Or are you also watering trees? Are you giving life to other people? So this is a very important principle that Rabbeinu told us. The Kotzke Wort is Emes Kne V'al Timker. Buy truth and don't sell it. And he says, like, as long as you're busy buying truth, don't be so pompous as to start selling it. Rabbeinu says, no, that's not true. That's not the way that it should be. No matter how lacking and how wanting you find yourself, you have to give emes to others. Your business in this world is to water trees, is to give to others. When you don't give to others behind the scenes, I don't know what. Okay. So you do tshuva. Or you call out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You call out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and say, B'no Shalom, listen, I'm giving this, this Dvar Torah to everybody, and I'm telling everybody how they really should behave and what they should do. At the same time, I'm talking the talk, but I ain't walking the walk. You know it, and I know, Rabbeinu know it. So what business do I have to start giving it to them, giving it to somebody else? The answer is that this is your business, and you're supposed to do it whether you can walk or you can't, or you can advance or not. Because the whole Indian is about taking out the nitzas of Kedusha from this world. And the Samachim does not want you to bring them up. That's the reason why you're struggling. I'm struggling with all these Hirurim and Nisyonis and Midas stress and Taiva stress. That make us cripples. A cripple that cannot walk, a cripple that cannot go from one level to the next the way he wants. Some people are falling into worries and to fears and tsar. It's like, when you do business, these ups and downs. In the very beginning, you invest, you buy, you hope, there's a lot of expenses. Only after a while, then you're zeicha to make profit. But when you believe that this is the tachlis of creation, this is what you were created for, you're willing to, to withstand anything. You can go through anything. And if you believe that, if you're willing to dive into that, if you're going to put yourself into that, this is Tachlis Abriya. Afterwards, you're zeicha to tremendous ascents. You're going up to tremendous levels. This is the mile of the Chiga. This is the mile of the cripple. What did he do? What he did is he settled himself. He reflected. What should I do? And he said, I should do my own business, which means to elevate the holy spark from this world. And he gets into it. With all the difficulties and with all the stumbling blocks along the way, but he's even willing to be a cripple for it. Because what's pshat of being a cripple? What do you mean he's willing to be a cripple? He is a cripple. What do you mean he's willing to be a cripple? The answer is that crippleness is only manifested when you come to difficult places, difficult straits where you are limited. A cripple who is sitting in the same place every single day is not a cripple. He doesn't need to go anywhere. He doesn't need to move. He doesn't want it even. But the Chigr in Al Maisa is demanding from himself incredibly difficult goals. He has to walk a great deal. He has to travel a great deal. In fact, he is putting himself into straits into a situation of invalidity, where his lack of capacity is magnified to the fullest. And this is what it says in Tehillim. The Rabbeinu said that this particular Maisa is on the first capital of Tehillim. Asher ish asher lo halach b'atzas rishoyim, moshav leitzim lo yoshav. All these things. This is Asher ish asher lo halach. It means fortunate is the people who puts himself into such toil in the Avodas Hashem that are very, very difficult to progress in them. You're not making it. You're not going anywhere. You're not moving anywhere. It's just like, no. You realize that this is the way to Avodas Hashem. Before greatness, there's smallness. You read this Tachlis Aliyah. You can't daven. You can't learn. You're doing things that you should not be doing. And you keep on waiting for the Yeshua Hashem, and you try and you push and you try to push. But that is Avodas Hashem. This is how you water trees. So we said that the Chigger, up to now, the Chigger decides that he's going to make business. Even though he can't walk. And how can he be careful not to fall? So he figures as follows: V'yatza b'datoi liskar agola v'neman ba'al agola. He decides, he comes to a conclusion that he's going to hire a wagon, a secretary, or a faithful. Neman means a faithful, somebody you can trust. And ba'al agola means somebody who drive the wagon, because he is a cripple, he can't walk. So he needs somebody else to do the walking for him. So it seems here that when we're talking about the Agola and the Nema and the Baal Agola, we're talking about euphemistically. The Agola, it represents the Emunah. If you want to put yourself into the level of Avodas Hashem, where you are a true Oved Hashem, meaning that you are willingly putting yourself in a condition where things are not going to work out. And it's okay, because that's Avodas Hashem. So what do you need to be able to sustain yourself in such a situation? The first thing you need is Agola. Agola means Emunah. We have many places like Kutam Aran. Rabbeinu says Emunah is a circle. Emunah svivosayich. Emunah is around you, surrounds you. Emunah is presented in a circle. A circle has no beginning, has no end. The very same way is Emunah. You can't explain Emunah. Emunah is a complete thing, the way a circle is a complete thing. It has no beginning, it has no end. When you have Emunah, that is the first thing you need in order to be able to get yourself into a battle where the most assured thing you're going to have from the get-go is that it ain't going to work. That it's not success-based. Your Avodas Hashem is not predicated on being successful. Your Avodas Hashem is predicated on doing what you need to do and fighting what you need to fight, and looking at, for me, looking at my own pathetic inequity at the face and saying, okay, that's okay, that's okay, it's okay. That's my job. That's my trek. That's my journey. First thing you need is a goal. You need a wagon. The wagon that gets you through that is Emunah. Emunah takes the mitzvahs from here to there. When a person does mitzvahs in this world, you believe that the mitzvah goes up and it grows and it travels the way it needs to travel. The Baal Agola, the driver, is the tzaddik. He's the one that shines in the person, the makifim of the Emunah. B'ezrat Hashem, we will learn in the Torah that we're learning right now, Likutei Moharan, Torah 21, about the makifim of the Emunah, the circumferential hasagas which are around that, around the moach, around the intellect. And the tzaddiks bring you to such strong and intangible emunah in Hashem Yisborach. It enables you to go from one mile to the next, from one place to the next. The Neman, the one who is faithful, is the Kodesh Baruch Hu. That the person gives all his doing and all his thoughts to Kodesh Baruch Hu. And the Kodesh Baruch Hu will lead you in Margalei Tzedek, you'll be able to do good things in your life. Rabbeinu says in the Sichas Sarah, in those base, it's very, very good to give all your maisim and everything that you do, all your actions to Kodesh Baruch Hu, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu will lead you the way He wants. So then you don't have to worry. That's the way the figure is preparing for his trip. He takes an Agola, which is a Muna, and the Naaman, in other words, trust in the Kodesh Baruch Hu. The Kodesh Baruch Hu will lead you in the right way. And the Baal Agola, you leave from the Tzaddik. From the Tzaddik, you'll learn Eitzes and Teres and Chizuki and Muna that you will need. And Rebbe says, Vaisai Moem le Leipzig, and he went with them to Leipzig. It was a big city. There was a big fair. The fair is this world. A person is going into the reality of this world in order to elevate the holy sparks from this world. By the way, the word Leipzig, Gematria, is 320. Shach, the Shach Dinim, this is the 320 verdicts, constrictions. When a person comes down to this world, in order to sift, in order to purify, in order to elevate the Mitzoytzes HaKadoshim, tremendous constrictions, verdicts, Isurim, hiding, stars, Dinyanis. This is what each and every one of us has to pass in this world, because we are all competing. We are all competing for the Olympics. We're all competing for the championship. Not in this world. Anybody who wants to win the Olympics has to train, right? Has to lift weights, has to run tremendous distances and and keep a diet and whatever it is and be totally tunnel visioned. And he has to go through whatever he'll go through, ups and downs and failures and successes, whatever it is, so he can reach his goal. This is each and every one of us. So let's take it one step further. And so the crippled figures is going to take these, the wagon and the Naaman and the Baal Agola, and he's going down into this world to do, and can do business. Even though he cannot walk. When his family heard this, they liked it. Why should we keep on sustaining him? It's better that he himself should have parnasa. In other words, they liked his way of, something, let's go and do a masa matan. Let's do business. Let's water trees. His way of going to do trees, they liked it, even though that they did not water trees in this particular way. They said, it's okay. Adabe, it was good for them. They liked it. And they found favor for him. And only because they did that, he was able to actually execute his plans. This is a very, very important nakuda. Many times, we find that there is disagreements and arguments between the tzaddikim and between the men of the tzaddik, the people of the tzaddik. It's the easiest trap to fall into, to criticize somebody else because he doesn't go your way. You can find within the people of the tzaddik many people who go totally, as far as you're concerned, the wrong direction. They're going the wrong direction on one-way street. Reb Nosson says in the Kut Alochas, when you have a friend and the friend is not going in the way of Emes, tell it to him in a nice, gentle way. And if he doesn't listen to you, let him be. Who knows? Maybe Mishamayim has to go that way. Yeah, but when you're talking, that's not Rabbeinu's way. That's not this. Let go. Let go. We're bringing this critical way of looking at things to the people who are serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to Anshe Rabbeinu, to our families, and to our friends. And while we're looking to each and every one of them with a critical eye, like that's not the way it's done. I'm sorry. That's not how you do it. You can have a kid who is doing things the wrong way, hardly does anything. Maybe he doesn't do anything at all. And you take a look at him and you go, First thing that you need to understand is that you have to separate. You have to separate completely acceptance and approval. The reason why we are filled with scorn, why we reject people that we love, or at least we should love, is because we mix together acceptance and approval. We make it one thing. If I don't approve of what you do, I don't accept you. And you need to understand, you ought to be one of the people of the tzaddik. You know, to be able to enjoy the camaraderie and the oneness that you need with the people of the tzaddik and the Avodas Hashem, is you need, and in order to have your family, to run your family in a way that it will flourish, you must separate the two. Acceptance is of the person. Approval or disapproval is of the actions. So I accept my friends and my family as is 100%. I don't have to approve of what they do or what they think. With Mechal Shabbos or I don't approve of that. But it doesn't mean that I don't accept them. But the easiest thing is for the two to get blurred, and acceptance and approval become one. If I don't approve of the way that you behave, I don't accept you either. This is where the whole package falls apart. It usually means that there is a little bit too much of an ego. Why don't you accept him or her the way they are, even though you disapprove of what they do? Usually the answer is because their behavior reflects bad on me. I don't look that good. If I have a grown-up child who's unmarried, I don't look, I mean, where is my aura of being an Elachiyid if my child doesn't keep Shabbos? If my child, maybe even has a baby and is unmarried, what does it mean? What does it mean to me? How will I be able to face the world? So it's not about them. It's about me. It makes me look bad. We mix approval and acceptance when we are ourselves a part of the story. Take a step back. Accept them. The Breslovers that go totally against your grain. I mean, but you know what you're saying? Yeah, okay, I'm not the Rebbe's police. Anybody the Rebbe doesn't want in Breslov is long out of Breslov. It's not my role. Yeah, but they're giving Breslov a bad name, no? What does it mean they're giving Breslov a bad name? It means they're giving me, I want to be a Breslover, I'm a Breslover, and I want also people to look at me, and like, wow, check this guy out. He's like, he's a heavy duty cat, it's like he's somebody. He's not just, he's in Choshev Yid, he's a Goyben in Geman, he's something. Look at me now that you come this group of people to do this or do that, and I'm going to be paired with them. What happened to my what happened to my take the my and just dump it. Covered is not for us. Looking good is not what we need to do. We are ordered not to make chilul. We need not to cause chilul personally. But that's it. That's it, no more. It's not our job to look good. It's not our job for other people to say, wow, check this guy out. Whoa, he's coming out looking like a new King Kong. He's unbelievable. You got to talk to this guy. He'll blow your mind. It doesn't matter. This is not necessary. You need the people of the tzaddik. Hold on just 1 second. I'm in the middle of a shir. I'll call you back. I'll call you back in the middle of the shir. I'm finishing, okay? Goodbye. I apologize. That's my wife from America. This whole thing with the mutation, whatever it is, she has to come back. Shem Yazon. Okay. So his family agrees. His family agrees that, okay, you water the trees the way that you understand is right. It's okay. It may not be our way, but we know that you mean good. If you train your eye to look at the good in the people around you, in the people of your family, in the Breslov Hasidim that are around you, in the non-Breslov Hasidim that are around you, with the Jews everywhere, and you take a look at them, at what's good there, the good will come up and the bad will fall. There's one thing we need to take. It doesn't matter whether you are quote unquote making it or not. You're making it. If you feel like you're not making it, like you're failing every single step, that means that you're making it. You're doing it. You're in the right direction. If you feel desperate, you say, listen, I cannot possibly ever succeed with this. I feel totally desperate. That means that you're on the right track, because desperation is the ultimate weapon of the Yetzer Hara. He would not use it against you unless you were on the right track. Water trees. Give to your family. Give to your friends. Give to others. The gift of Emunah. Don't say, who am I? I mean, look, I don't have to learn. I don't have to. There are people that they exactly need what you have to give. No, it's okay. I'm just going to the shir of Rav Grundman, that's good enough for me, I mean, I'm going to give to other people. I mean, that's a joke. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because Rav Grundman is as much as a joke as you are. Only you don't know it. He's just being humble. Forget about it. He's so cute. He's being humble. Look at him. He's fantastic. You ain't seen nothing yet. Not the shame you won't see either. But trust me, each and every one of you is at least as good as I am. I'm giving you, you give to others. Speak about Emunah. Give Emunah. Accept. Don't have to approve, but you have to accept. Hashem should help us with Zat Hashem. Thursday night, Zat Hashem, we will be learning Likutei Moharan, and Hashem should bless us with all kind of good and blessings and health and Yeshuas and brachas and everything. Thank you so very much for being here tonight, and I apologize if I bored you. Be good. Be mitzvah.